Soul Garden. Why does every guy cheat on you? Trust me, I know. How come girls always call you their friend? I can tell you. We'll talk about your strengths and we'll talk about emotions. Secrets of Birthdays, now live for purchase. Check out yours at secretsofbirthdays.com. Namaste and welcome to Soul Horoscopes Orbits Edition. From my webcam to yours, I'm Christopher Witecki, your astrologer and soul biographer, here to help you put the pieces of your soul biography together. We're trucking through space. The sun now has entered into the Virgo state of awareness, or the IB state of awareness. This is as real as reality gets. It's the five senses. It's your health, and it's the possibility of integrity and transformation. But in this particular week, we move from step 2 to step 8, and we'll be committing to what we want to change. Looking at the moon starts in Aries, then shifts to Taurus for a couple of days, where there'll be a soul pyramid in Earth, then Gemini for 3 days. That's going to be a little insane. And then Cancer at the end of the week, where the moon will cross the grand square that we have going on. The signs most affected by this are Aries, Libra, Taurus, Scorpio, Gemini, Sagittarius, and the Cancer, Capricorn spectrum is affected indeed. Now, looking at Mr. Orbits, man. The moon, which is the fastest moving planet, is going to be what gives us kind of some havoc. It starts in the root chakra, so there might be survival issues, and it goes through manifestation and ends the week in our solar plexus, so giving us stomach aches. The sun and Mercury are focusing around the heart chakra. Mercury will pass the sun this week, which means thoughts of the future can either make or break our hearts. Looking at the planets, we've got some, major trines going on. This soul pyramid in water, the grand trine of water, continuing forward between Jupiter, Black Lilith, Neptune, and Saturn in Scorpio. Saturn in Scorpio, probably the most difficult part of that, having to be responsible with personal emotional boundaries. No more time left. Now, this soul pyramid in Earth, which begins with the moon in Taurus, trines up to Pluto and over to Sun Mercury in Virgo. This means that as soon as you update your emotional life, you'll see your actual physical life start to change immediately. But not change too much. That's because we're in an all stop down with the grand square or grand cross, however you want to look at it, which is technically triggered by Venus in Libra. Venus in Libra is pushing for justice to be served here on the planet, and that's struggling against ego. So it's ego versus justice, kind of a classic battle on Earth. And of course, Jupiter, our emotions, opposing Pluto and Capricorn, the rules. So emotions versus rules, ego versus justice. This pretty much holds the traffic up on Earth. Nothing's going to change for a while, at least not in business plans, etc. Probably until after Labor Day weekend. And this grand cross or grand square is really the reason why. You can see here the moon will cross through Cancer at the end of the week. That's where it crosses that grand square again and crosses Mars and Jupiter. So leading up to Lightcast Day next week. But before we talk about Lightcast Day and next week, let's talk about this week. Let's take the Ascension elevator up and get a full 360 view of you.
Folks, this is your captain speaking. We realize you have a choice in the astrologers you choose to fly with, and we'd just like to thank you for flying with Christopher Witecki.
Hello, Your Royal Majesty, and welcome to 33,000 feet for a bird's eye view of you, and this is for Leos and Leo risings. Well, the birthday period is over. The sun now moves into Virgo, and the stories for the royalty of the zodiac is soul capital, raising your self-esteem, your ability to produce, and your ability to manifest. This is the I manifest state of awareness, which Tauruses are natural born at. Your ability to create, manifest, hold space, and draw on that magical lightwork word, abundance, right? The ability to draw in abundance. So we're stepping into that and out of ego development this week, but there's still a lot of personal, emotional development. Saturn putting emotional havoc on home family foundation, or perhaps causing stomach aches or issues with your own emotions. This is you having to take responsibility and being strong for yourself emotionally. Maybe challenges in the outer world, and you're having to be your mom to yourself. And Uranus and Aries, having to innovate your personal beliefs in order to keep things fair or to keep things serene in the mind. These are just some of the stories going on with the royalty of the zodiac. So as we start off this week, we're in chapter 1 of Sun in Virgo. This is your value consciousness, known as self-esteem and soul capital. You're going to work all the way up to the high purple manifestation, magic and abundance of this spectrum in about the next 30 days. But this week, it's about what is in the way of feeling self-confident or good about yourself. And a lot of times it's nitpicky little details that you've ignored for a long time that you have not paid attention to that slowly over time subconsciously kind of wear on you. Now the sun will move from step 2 on Sunday, which is very emotional about soul capital, all the way to making a decision about what self-esteem issues need to go. During this week, Mercury will also pass the sun, which means thoughts will move from present to future, and you'll begin to plan the future by the end of the week. Now, Jupiter is still wreaking havoc in Cancer. That is your subconscious. You're now moving into uncharted emotional interfaith territory with Jupiter at 12 degrees. And by the end of the week, there will be a spiritual breakdown or breakthrough or both. If you have a breakdown, there will be a breakthrough. This will be some sort of test of faith with yourself where you somehow gamble your own spiritual abilities on something and you will see the results or not. Good news though, Black Lilith at step 8 says that it's time to decide what emotional inner whirlpools you will not allow yourself to go into. What karmic traps will you not allow yourself to fall into? And for Leos, these karmic traps always happen by feeling victimized by your own emotions, which happen deep inside. Now, speaking of emotions, Saturn in Scorpio is conjuncting the North Node now in Scorpio, and this means it's time to love and trust that your emotional foundation will be fine. Notice that Saturn's only at step 6, so the universe is saying, hey, hold space at 10, love and trust at the top, even though you're just now making peace with yourself or peace with your home, family, or foundation. Saturn will move to step 7 at the end of the week, and that'll be where you're beginning to connect your emotional field to your intuition, allowing your feelings to rely on your gut in order to feel better. Now, last week, the biggest turning point was that full moon in Aquarius. It was a tug of war between ego and personal relationships, more importantly, your marriage or marriages. And that might have been a big breakdown and a big of a disappointment, and that was the wrap-up of the ego development, was to let go of certain ego attachments as the sun wrapped up. Then over the weekend, the sun moved into Virgo, where it shifted to soul capital and self-esteem issues. That's where we began. So on Sunday, the moon is in Aries. You are philosophical and you are processing. It moves into Taurus by the end of the day, so Sunday turns out to be more of a professional day. But on Monday, as the moon moves into Taurus, we have a soul pyramid in Earth. For the royalty, this unites your feelings about career with the potential of money and wanting to change your daily life. And daily life is Pluto, so this is the slowest moving part of the story. It feels like forever to have that daily life change. But you will begin to feel better about your career legacy, and I think that does shift possibilities for you and the feeling of what's possible on Monday. Then Tuesday, there's that breakdown. It's a quantum breakdown. Jupiter also breaks down, so it's interfaith and finances, or interfaith and self-esteem being hit simultaneously. So it's a double lightning bolt where you might find yourself on your knees kind of praying, hoping things will be okay. That's because if you hold on too much to certain Virgo details, sometimes those details fall apart and then you are emotionally attached. So you're really becoming unattached to particular details about what makes you feel self-confident or not. If you insist on being only 110 pounds to be self-confident, that's a detail that might bring down your soul capital. We're just saying. So Wednesday will be a breakthrough day. The moon moves into Gemini. It's out of career and into social life. So you're feeling social, probably reaching out, speaking to people. On Thursday, the gold star means that Venus rules the day and it'll return to love and tranquility. This will be maybe a return to your bank account. So if you had a bank account issue with the soul capital issue, you might get, might go positive again on Thursday. But overall, with the moon in Gemini, you're probably networking and trying to get out there because remember, money is kind of the undertone in this transit. Then comes Friday. Now, Friday is going to be kind of a two-part day. This day starts off social in the morning and just fine, but by the end of the day, the moon moves into Cancer. So it's a double Neptune whammy for you. Your feelings are psychic, and the sun in Virgo is ruled with psychic awareness. What this double whammy is really getting to the bottom of where your self-esteem is not showing up for yourself, or where you're sabotaging your business, or why can't you get the promotion. You're really getting to that bottom line. But that moon in Cancer is also triggering the Grand Cross or Grand Square, however you look at it, which means you're not just triggered with faith, but reality is also triggering you and what to do in that moment. Also, at the same time, the Aries Libra vibration is triggered, so what you believe versus your mind games. So really, I'm saying that Friday afternoon could suck, all right? Saturday, you do wake up feeling a bit refreshed. The moon is still in Cancer, so you're still searching for inner faith. The moon also, has crossed Jupiter by now. And it's time to decide what's going to go when it comes to self-esteem issues. So really, they're all intangibles. Even if you want money, you're supposed to decide now what needs to go. I'm going to stop eating too much ice cream before bed. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I'm going to stop these things that degrade or take away from my ability to feel self-confident. And Saturday, that's ultimately how things wind up. Now, Jupiter is 13 degrees from Tuesday on, which means that it is a whole new territory of inner faith. So really, honestly, from Tuesday to Saturday could be any time you could have the breakthrough of understanding how to have interfaith better, or technically it's where you're relating to yourself emotionally. Somewhere where you're relating to yourself emotionally is triggering the interfaith because you are feeling bad, and you could just attend to the baby, says Saturn in Scorpio, and feel better, and then maybe the faith would come online. So grounding back to earth, if you want to jumpstart your heart, Your Majesty, I do in just 90 minutes. I have a couple of dates through the next few months where Saturday or Sunday in 90 minutes at $34.95, you walk away smiling and rejuvenated with creativity. Also, if you want to go a little deeper, Lightcast Bootcamp lasts 7 weeks. It starts after Labor Day, and I will guide you into your magic. 80% of my class is manifesting their goal by the end of class. And if you don't have that much time, well, I have crunched the entire manifestation into one 90-minute downloadable video called Jumpstart Lightcasting. So these are my things to help you get back to school. That's available also at soulmart.me. They do keep me on the air, and I do appreciate it, Your Majesty. Well, namaste. That's all I have for this week. I love you very much. Have a great week. Stand in your heart, own your value, and live, love, be.